Hi, welcome to this lesson. So in this lesson, we are going to be talking about local variables. All right. So variables that are created within functions, just the functions alone, they only have scope within that function. That's how it works. So these are called your local variables. Okay, so for example, let me create a function like this. Just a function, I'm just going to create a random function like this. And I'm going to create a variable inside of that function, let num. Okay, so num is going to be the variable that I'm creating inside of the function. Now, if I try to use that variable, reference that variable outside of that function, this is what's going to happen. Let's look at the output. There you go. We have a reference error, okay, uncaught reference error in line number 10, which is this particular line which is using this variable right now. It says num is not defined. Right? Now that's because num was defined inside of this function. It's a local variable that's created within the function name, and it only works within that function. Okay, it has a local scope. So that basically means it has a local scope or a function scope or a block scope. Okay, because anything that's within your flower brackets are blocks, right? So it's a block scope. It has a block scope. Okay. So let me show you another example now. So let num is equal to 2. So I give num is equal to 2. I declare num before my function itself. Okay, and then I'm declaring another num inside of the function like this, and I'm doing 2. I'm asking for an alert of num inside of the function as well. And then after calling the function outside of the function, because it's very important to call the function if you want it to run, I'm also doing an alert outside of the function as well for the same variable num. Okay, so there are two alerts for num. Okay, but num was declared and assigned a value 2 times. So it has a value 2 in here, it has a value 5 in here. Generally, if I were to do an assignment outside of the function like this, I'd get an error because num was already declared, right? Now, am I going to get an error again? Well, first of all, I'm not getting an error, okay? And I'm getting the number 5 first, okay? And if I click on OK, I'm getting the number 2. Do you see what's happening? So I'm getting both. So for the first alert, when JavaScript executes a function from the top to the bottom, it'll first come here. This would be skipped because there's no function call for this, so it'll come here. So first of all, it'll encounter the function call and it'll go back and it'll alert the first number, and that was 5, right? And then afterwards it'll come back here, it'll go to the next line and it'll alert the num again. But this time it's alerting number 2. Now why is that? Okay. So when the original num was called from the outside of the function, we get a 2, but when the new num is called from inside of the function, we are getting a 1. So that's because this is a global variable. Okay, it can be used anywhere inside of the function, but this is a local variable. So when you call something from inside of the function, you're calling the local variable. Okay, but outside of the function here, you're actually calling the global variable. So that's why you're getting 2 different answers. Okay, so that's global scope and function or local scope as well. Okay, so that's your local variables. So that's it for this particular lesson. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.